Gabriel, I sent you, keep with the email, sent you in your email, startup shutdown procedures, English, Spanish, about the gun, clean the gun, all that stuff. It's all in it. You can leave it, you got to print it out, but I put it, send it to you, she sends your email.
Okay.
You have with you. The biggest thing I can say, then I'm Mike. If you need me, you can call this number, ring to my cell phone. And here's my cell phone number. Over here is my cell phone number, my office number. Everything rings to my cell phone. I have no answering service. You can call me Sunday morning, you can call me Saturday night, you can call me on Easter Sunday, you can call me any day. You're a customer. I make sure the machine works properly when you want it to work. Now, you have 24/7 service from me to what to do with the machine. Anything you need to do. Basically, this is your inlet right here. Your air goes in and powers the machine. This first regulator, when you turn it clockwise, they put more air to the air cylinder, makes it go up and down. If you want to go slower or turn it off, you just turn it backwards. This regulator is for the blow gun for cleaning out the gun at the end of the day, and also goes to the end of the hose 300 feet away at your gun, so you can purge your gun and reuse the tip all day long. You set that there. We're probably going to go with we usually run the machine at 60 pounds once there's fluid in it, and your purge air, you're going to be doing spatter, so you're going to need a fair amount of air because this might be a little chilly and cooler material while it warms up. You're probably going to be at 60 and 50. If you go 60 and 60, you got to go whatever you got to do to make the spatter pattern happen. As next week it's warmer, you might be at 60 and 40, 60 and 35. It just depends on the temperature of the material. This one here, and this one here. This is engaged.
Here too? No.
This is your air motor. It makes it go up and down. That drives the metal plate. Both pumps are connected together, so one motor moves both pumps at the same time. When you're working, you have to have the end of the hose. You have to have both valves open. You can't have one open and one shut. If you have one shut, the machine's just going to feel pressure and stop because it's not being released. So in order for the machine to work, you have to open the gun to let material out, then it'll start to pump material into the machine. So, kind of like that. This is your shutdown valve. We'll go over this at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when we're done working, we'll open that, the machine will go shut down, you'll beat the shafts. Wet shafts are inside the pump overnight. So, we'll go over that to shut down at the end of the day when we're done. And that just stays open like that. You've got your red side and blue side. You got A1, B2. No matter what manufacturer you use, part A goes on the red side of the machine. You cannot put a blue, some people come in a blue drum. It's part A. So you don't want to put the blue drum on the blue side. In this case, we do because there's a B right on top of the barrel. And that one has an A. So we know that's the A side, this is the B side. If you get a barrel that doesn't have a letter on it, a letter or a number, you can't use it until you figure out what it is. There are manufacturers that make 2 black drums, 2 white drums. It comes in all different flavors. You have to make sure you find the label on the barrel before you attach it to the machine. Guys that have not done that, switch them by accident, of course, start pumping, everything stopped up because now you glued the machine shut. It's $10,000 plus. You got 300 feet of hose here. Usually, there's 110 feet of hose to replace everything from being crossed over is $10,000 usually today. So it's important to make sure that the right product is on the right side of the machine. A1, B2. Here's your 2-cylinder, your A cylinder, your B cylinder, fluid pressure gauge, your B side fluid pressure gauge. We have 60 pounds of air, we're going to be right around 300 pounds. We'll be at. The machine works off of siphon. It's siphons the product from the barrel. No barrel pump to push it here to the machine. So it works off the siphon. So we have to have fluid inside the pump to create the siphon so to start the cycle of siphon. Before I put these hoses on, and they're black hoses, pickup hoses, I hook up to a machine in my shop and I pressure test the pump to 600 psi. So if it tests at 600 psi, drain the fluid out, a little bit of pump fluid left in the upper part of the cylinder, just can't get it out. So that's enough to prime the machine. So we will not have to put product in the hose to prime the machine. It will prime itself. If you run a barrel empty, it's a process to doing it. If you run a barrel empty, we use the yardstick here, but you know about your squares and everything. If you run a barrel empty, you're going to have to stop, take the gun, shut the valves, take the gun off, have somebody clean it, open up 2 new barrels, get the material into 2 new barrels, then you're probably going to take this apart right here, fill this hose with part A, and you fill with part A, and you lift it up, the fluid gets sent down and into the pump, then fill the hose a little bit more, spray this off with brake clean, put grease on it, back together, then put the recirculation block on the end and start the machine to run it again. Try and get the air to be saving the B side, to be running the A side. Recirculation block. This is the hose related to the gun. This is when you're number 1 barrel, A. Your number 2 C barrel, and then pull the hole, and while you ran out of one side and not the other, this is the small hole of that barrel, the hole of that barrel needs to be the machine until you pull the air out of the 300 foot. When you see fluid coming out of here, then you can stop the machine, take this off, clean it, and then put the gun on and go back to work. So if you keep using your stick and don't run empty, you'll never have to use this. You can use this on a cold day if you want to, once we get fluid in there and get it going, if somehow you lose electricity or something like that, these heated hoses and the blankets, you can recirculate it through the barrel and get things warm. That's any questions?
What about turning on the heat for the hose?
We're not going to turn on the heat now because there's no fluid in the hose. When there's fluid in the hose, then we turn on the heat.
Okay.
We have it plugged in, but it's not turned on. No, not turned on. Okay, the next step, we're going to put the pickup tubes in the barrel, and then we'll go over the startup, what you do every Monday, and what you do every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Good? You want some latex gloves? Take that out. You want to take these apart?
Video. Until he gets ready to.
Go in here. So this doesn't slide all the way to the bottom. You get crap in between here and messed up. That's the part A side. Now we're going to grease. You're going to take your grease here. Make sure you put grease. Red. Red's in the barrel. Make sure you grease the red's in the barrel. Every barrel, every step you do it, put grease the thread and the barrel bung both. Now, I gotta be careful because I just got part B going here, so I can't use this glove in that barrel. I need to either wipe it off or change gloves. Put only part B on your part A. You put that in the barrel, screw it in. Like you don't want to stick the drill bit back in the A or B. You don't even want to fucking touch it with your glove. You need to switch your gloves constantly. Okay. Ready here. Put grease in there if you need to. That just keep the part A from getting on the pipe. You're in there about 4 or 5 turns.
So you don't need to tighten it?
No, about 4 or 5 turns. So with the drums, that's what we do every morning. You got to put grease on the thread and on the barrel bung both. Make sure it's pump lube in the jar. Make sure it's clear. As days go on, it'll turn white. It'll turn white. When it's changing, when it turns white. Usually about every 2 weeks. 3 gallons, get the job box over there. Unscrew the jar, dump it out, put some fresh in it, about halfway, somewhere in there, and then change it as needed. Number 2 thing we do, take the packing tool on the P pump. Loosen up the key packing nut. Take the oil can right in on top of the packing nut by the shaft. A little bit of pump lube. Can back. And we snug this. Just snug it down. That's all we're going to do. That's about tight. You want to grab that and loosen it up. Might end up getting one more hole after a while, and as it gets a little more, it might get a little easier, but that's kind of what it does. There's 5 wipers underneath there that loop that, keeps that shaft wet, and it wipes it off every time it goes up and down. And in the A side, it automatically lubes it every stroke, so you don't have to do anything with that. The third thing we do on Monday morning, check the screen of the wiper. There's no pressure. This is the vacuum side of the machine. Thank you for asking. Yes, everything on the back side of the machine is siphoned from the blue hoses forward. Everything is pressure. So you could have 60 pounds of air, 300 pounds of line pressure. You can take this apart and nothing will come out. It's your screen here. It's an 80 mesh and a 20 mesh. Take your can of brake clean, spray it nice and clean. You got a blow gun, blow it all nice and clean. Then go ahead and scrunch it a little bit. Put it back in the round hole. Then we put grease on the threads. There again, you always got to use your finger because I don't want to put the grease on there for the part A, the grease, and then we use the B side and then cross-contaminate. garbage bag? Please.
Right here.
Oh, we got one. We got him.
Do the same thing with this part too, right? No, this doesn't have a blowout.
Right, that doesn't have
It's just there's more here than that. I got that.
Seems like they'll blow out getting out nice.
Yeah, black piece and
I saw there's one can of spray clean.
Dryer. Put it on the inside of the drum.
He said those last about 2 weeks. Anywhere from 2 weeks to a month. I got something.
Do this small hole in the A drum.
Those are you just transfer out and like turn paint. But yeah, it's not your coffee cup.
Plastic these nut drivers on the machine. Okay, now the dryer. Disc and dryer. Airflow from the top to the bottom. Take the seal off the bottom. This goes in the holder. At the end of the day, we took the top one off. At the end of the day, we'll cover that back over. Piece of duct tape, something to keep moisture from humidity from getting into the dryer. The window now is blue. When it turns pink, you need to change the dryer.
Where you want this one? How long do those usually last?
Depends on the humidity and moisture in the air. Sometimes 2-3 weeks, sometimes a month. Could be more, could be less.
Get up. Stay it out there.
If it turns pink on like a Friday or something, or a Thursday or Friday, it's not that you can't work. It's just not taking any moisture out of the air. So it's not going to stop the machine from working, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, we're going to get the end of the hose over here. We'll go ahead and start the machine up. These are the manifold shut-off valves. These you shut off at the end of the day. It makes the fluid keep stuff from coming out, so it makes an airtight system. Right now there's air in the 310 feet of hose, so we're going to open these up. And it stops. There's a ball on the other end, so you can't unscrew it out. You can break it. If you don't use if you use an impact wrench, you're going to break it off right away. They're $60 a piece. There's 2 spare ones over there in the box. Use the nut driver, you won't have the problem. They're both open. I'm going to go ahead and run the machine a little bit to get the machine to start cycling. Go ahead and turn this valve so the machine starts moving. Yep.
Lift up, hold it towards you.
Keep going, keep going. Keep going, the machine starts to cycle.
We're at 26.
the pumps, a little bit of fluid in the pumps, it's going to start to pick up the fluid from the barrel. It's just starting to prime, so to speak. So about 310 feet of hose.
Is that going to fill the whole? You have enough to fill the whole hose in?
Oh, my yeah.
Need more barrels? Or?
No. See, it's starting to slow down, so now we've got fluid into the pumps and starting to go out the hose, so we're getting restriction. That's why it's slowing down. So now we can give another 10 pounds of air. 30, was it 30? Yeah. Go to 40. 40. Take it up. We just want to make sure we don't want to turn the hose heat on because the hose is dry with air and the fluid would help dissipate the fluid, the heat. So we can't turn the hose heat on until we have fluid coming out the end of the hose.
Now is that cycle right now? When this is ready, was it going to start coming up?
Going the machine up and that's a little slow. The barrel's cold barrel runs this slow, so that's why the biggest thing to keep the barrels warm. They say on the label of the barrel, 70 degrees is the minimum to have the temperature of the material in the barrel. Anything above 70 degrees, you don't need barrel warmers and you don't need your electricity for the hose heat. Anything below 70, you need electricity for the hose heat and also the barrel warmer. We got fluid pressure. Just not coming out the end of the hose yet.
Never mind.
It's a little hard to spatter here today with cold barrels. Moving that slow. I mean, you'd be cranking higher, but the problem being, you go to 70, 80, 90 pounds, and your pump goes up real quick. You're asking for too much, and the barrel's too cold. The material's too thick to be drawn in by the pump.
We'll have hot barrels by tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, these will be nice by tomorrow.
No. Whatever's up here. They're on the ground. They took them all on the ground. We just wait till you guys.
A lot of heat, a lot of hose. Once it starts coming out, we can turn on the hose heat. It'll warm up more.
Constantly cycling once it's heating up, or does it just kind of stay resistant?
Right now, it's no heat. The heat's not turned on.
Once it's turned on. Like
Once it's turned on.
At the end of the night, I cover this thing up and this thing running. Is it just circulating it through?
No.
It's just keeping it warm.
No, it's just keeping the hose warm.
Gotcha.
And keep it from freezing, so to speak.
Right.
And the barrel blankets keep the barrel from freezing.
Should these be reading the same?
They're going to be close, right? There's different thicknesses. They're going to be one cooler than the other, one cooler than the other type of thing. Moving off slow. This is too slow to try to spatter. We'll get the gun on and get something started, but you'll see how it works. That's kind of
Until these barrels
the
heat
barrels
up.
warm up. You just can't.
We're trying to achieve a 50% spatter pattern.
That was it.
That's what he said, 50%.
Feet's a lot of hose.
Did I send you the video on this?
Maybe. I don't think so.
Go on Carlisle's website or the YouTube website.
So this is how you're going to check what's in your barrel, because you can't see how much is in the barrel. You take the B barrel, the B side only, you dip this in. 16 inches, that's 5 gallons of product. 5 gallons part B, 5 gallons part A, 10 gallons total, 17 to 20 gallons. Then you go your next 8 inches here, and then you want to do half that much, because you want to change the barrel somewhere in here so it doesn't run empty. You're just going to stop the machine, unscrew the barrel valve, wipe it off, put it out, stick it in the next drum, and your leftover you have in here for 4 inches. When this gets down to open this 4 inches into your set number 2. First thing in the morning, check your barrel. Tell you exactly what you're going to do. If it's down here, you're not going to do much. You need a set. You have to get another set over here, warmed up, opened up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
He told me that there's a yardstick too, so say that you go do about 10 squares, stick your yardstick down. Each one theoretically should get, on a beautiful day, 20 squares. He said try to get anywhere from 17 to 18 per 8 inch on the yardstick. And then once you do, call it 20 squares,
So we should be
do a
able to-
measurement, then you can determine if you're putting too less
I think I'll upload it on YouTube.
rather than going through a whole barrel.
Yeah, because that's the whole purpose.
Yeah, all of our kids.
He said close to 60, 50 to 60 per drum, percent.
I think we usually more losing
You want 44 pounds of 3,
It'll be 22.
22, all in this area.
What'd you just adjust?
I just turned on the hose heat to try and get a little bit of hose heat going on so it tries to flow a little bit more. But the hose heat maintains what comes from the barrel. The hose heat warms up, yes, but also maintains what comes from the barrel. I'm just trying to get it to heat up both of the hose, so try and start to flow a little bit faster.
Okay.
Kind of one good little way.
How many rolls over there?
This is really good time.
The hose is rated at 2250 psi. We're just about 400, so we're way under what the machine's capacity is. We're not overloading anything. end up going. Everything's nice and warm. That's what it'll end up. That's the way it should be flowing.
Definitely warmer than outside. I told Ty one thing. I should bring a pair
Something that we're going to start doing. Like that, man. I shut my grease car down pretty good. That was my question. That grease up there, that's different grease than the lithium that we use for the grease car, isn't it? No, it's
It's different
same
brand.
shit, different brand. This thing just looks now.
It's all Johnny's fault. Didn't put drums inside yesterday.
It's just pressure. Yeah,
It's all Johnny's fault. Yep. While you're standing around, why don't you go run and get some breakfast?
Why don't you fucking make yourself useful?
Company cards that you go get us all breakfast.
Why don't you make yourself useful, Gabe?
Oh, you're making warm you up? I got enough room in here. Come on.
There's a company
What's the air compressor sending to the machine here? 120?
90 miles.
Go to 120. Can you 120 out of it?
That's fine. I turned it up.
I turned it up to 100 here.
Yeah, it tops out at 110.
Just a barrel of cold. That's
I have
all it
a
is.
bunch. When he moves over, I have a bunch of cones I need to put back up here that belong to me. He'll come down there and he'll block off our parking lot. So once he moves them over, he'll pull back up here and I'll have it They were stepping over it, but when you're not watching them, they fucking do it. Maybe as well. You go to the ones that have the flag. All this
right here.
Coming out. Both sides.
Turn the air down to 0.
Air down to 0.
The machine is now primed. As long as you don't run a barrel empty, you'll never have to prime it again.
I don't plan on doing it.
Take a nut driver and close it down.
Okay, we are at 0.
Okay.
Ready for the gun, Johnny.
Good. Different here. Alright. Got the spray gun here. I need that rolling tape, please. Good?
That's fine.
So what you do here every day before you put the tip on, you take a little bit of Teflon and tape, put it on the end of the gun. By doing this, just put this tape on here. Turns like that, something like that is good. The reason we do that is when you put the tip on and there's adhesive in here in the threads, this tape will keep the threads of the gun clean. So at the end of the day, we take the tip off and throw it away. We clean the gun, we take a rag and go counterclockwise. That cleans that thread. They're brand new. There's no wire brushing, no digging, no cleaning, none of that kind of stuff. Tip. Okay.
It looks like I think put it on the cat.
No, they stay in. Those are your little box seals. So you got stuff on here. You can't break clean. Anything that's wet, the brake clean will dissipate. You don't need to wipe it off with a rag because we're using non-chlorinated, which evaporates. So whenever you spray it on, it'll evaporate. You have nice clean block. Put this together. Now the center bolt, the capture bolt, you can tighten up nice and hard. You weren't too hard with these, which is good. There's a ball in there. But this is the seal, so that's everything's going there pretty good. Close the valve. Close the air. There, goes over here. Okay, so the small regulator is a blue handle. Give me 20 pounds.
Small one.
Small one right here. That gauge.
40 pounds.
40 pounds.
Yeah, maybe not.
We're at 40.
Kidding.
Okay.
It's coming off.
And also for spatter splatter, we cut this tip off right here. If you're doing beads, you leave it on the way it was. You'll get a nice fine bead. If you leave it on, your spatter pattern can be so small, you can just get so much back pressure. Start leaving out the back. So we cut that big opening so we have air coming out. And now start taking up to 80 pounds, 100 pounds. Do something. Keep going. 100? Yeah, it's good. Just try and see what it does. Okay?
Johnny thought he broke something.
So,
You want to turn heat on the hose?
we can. We have it turned on. So I turned it on a little bit.
So how do we, okay.
So you turn. Right now we have power lit up.
Yep.
So the power's coming in.
But no,
You turn on the hose heat. Now the hose heat lights up, but we're not drawing any amps. We're at 0 to 100% of what the transformer puts out. So our two wires, or the way we're hooked up here, is for 310 feet of hose. You can change this if you need to. Then we go ahead and turn that dial to 100%. 100%. Cut that back a little bit. Be around 9. We'll leave it at 12 for now. Usually 8 or 9 is a good number. 8 or 9. And that's on manual hosing, so it can stay on all day long because you're always flowing material. So we have 100 pounds of air, so we have fluid pressure, so we can open these 2 valves. This is your fluid handle. Open, dispenses, close. Air, same thing. Up.
you want those off?
Yeah, take them a little way.
Want to spray it on something? You got any?
I don't have anything to spray it on. Just spray it here and I'll scrape it up. Where? Johnny, I know on the right of those valve boxes there's like 2 butt rolls. So just lay 2 butt rolls out and spray those. 30 seconds, I got a couple butt rolls.
Give that hose a chance to heat up.
Yep.
I don't know if you'll feel it. It's not really. It's all internal.
Wrapped around the hose, then there's heat shrink on top of the wire that heats the hose, then there's an insulation armor flex put on to keep the heat in, to keep the cold out, so to speak, and then you put the scuff jack on top of that. So it's pretty well insulated. underneath everything. The extra whip hose I took off and put in the box. That's good. Good side right here. Now for splatter, splatter, you open your fluid halfway, coming out the end of the tip. And once it starts to spatter, then you can open it the rest of the way. If it's not spattering, just close it off and raise your air pressure. Okay, we're not getting anything. So turn this up to 50, 60.
You're at 30 right now. 50?
Over there the whole way, going halfway. So not cold. Right now before
70.
Once you turn the machine down to 80, I turn the machine down, we're pouring a little less material. Usually run at 60. So, was it 100, we'll cut it back so it'll flow a little bit less, then our air prefers to catch up with the amount of fluid. Then you turn the fluid off, the air is purging out the tip. It's not working right because it's just full
Too
cold.
cold.
It's too cold.
It started. I can see what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing is knowing your machine pressure is usually going to be around 60 to 80, and then your air pressure is 50 to 60 pounds or more. So it's going to pump a lot faster.
And once we're done with the run, we're going to let air run through there.
You got enough to clean your tip out.
Clean the tip, and then
you
you
can
can shut it off.
No, shut it off. Just cut it back so the air compressor can catch up.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then
So you always want air to be running through there.
Always.
Gotcha.
Always just in application. Because if not, whatever's in there
Gonna
can
residual.
throw back in the gun and plug up the gun. So always want to have some amount of air. It only takes 15 pounds of air to clean the tip when you're doing bead applied. So cut it back to this amount, you're okay, your air compressor can catch up. So when you're doing your full applying, that's kind of where it's at.
And your 50% coverage rate?
Percent coverage rate. So just plug your handle when you're done, and then out. Air cleaner. You have to go do something. Then you cut down.
And it's not.
Some people take 15-minute break.
Yep.
As long as the air is running, you back over and pick it up because that gun mixes externally, outside the head of the gun. Every other manufacturer, their gun mixes internally. The old fusion guns and stuff. So that can sit there for an hour. It's not going to hurt it because it mixes externally. You don't want to leave it sit for an hour, but
But 25-minute break isn't going to hurt it.
yeah. You just have to make sure you have to brake if somebody puts gas in the air compressor. If your air compressor shuts off and runs out, just close your fluid, open the air, and as always keep the tip clean. That's what you're after. If there's not enough air to clean the tip, then take the tip off. And then get gas in the air compressor and get started, then you can go ahead and put a new tip order, reuse that tip, whatever, and then grease it and do everything. With your 50% coverage what you're at, and not pointing down, you kind of want to be out, so you get a broader, just an open pattern. You don't really want to see a circle of product being put down or anything. just going to be just kind of like that right there. No real pattern, so to speak. What do you think? It's just in there too, I mean, it's just, you know,
Now shut off is part of the same thing in reverse.
for the machine itself, yeah, we'll do a shutdown. We'll do a shutdown there. Good?
Yep.
Okay, let's get the hose up first.
Pick the hose up.
We're going to take off the top, it's all nice and clean. Got a little bit of fluid in there yet. So it's only going to be
Brake cleaner.
Need a lot of that.
Need a lot of that shit.
probably about
Non-carbonated.
Yeah, non-carbonated. And then that's really it. There's nothing else. There's no tearing apart. There's no O-rings, no gaskets, no nothing. It's all hard parts. And then if you want to, you can just leave it open. Store it right there. You throw it in the job box. Take a tip and cut it off so at least you protect the threads if you throw it in the job box.
Got it.
There's a spare gun in the job box. So if something happens, this is a one-way valve. What happens sometimes if people are doing a bead applied, this is shut, this is open. If they try to open the air while they're doing the bead, you have 300 pounds of fluid pressure that can go back the line. So the check valve stops that from happening. But if it gets in there, you can actually take that out, take this out, put the air fitting right in the ball valve and still be able to work. So, or you can take and unscrew this whole thing, throw it in the other box, whatever. So, either or. Where do you want to put it?
That works right there. I like it there. With the machine.
The machine is right there.
So now we got your gun done.
So, this is the air hose. Because the machine is turned down to 0, it's all good. This was 20 pounds, no big deal there. We did leave this open. This is the dryer, this is the regulator dryer. So anything that goes into from the air compressor goes out this little hose here so it doesn't go into the air motor and get moisture inside the air motor.
You always want to leave that open?
Yes, it can be open. Once it's open now, it can never.
Don't ever
if somebody closes it, somebody has to open it.
Gotcha.
So it's just open the way it is. And your hose.
And then you can just leave this on, right?
You can. Well, no, you won't leave it open all the way. No, you got to down somewhere
Overnight, where do I want to keep that at?
just under 3 amps.
Just under 3 amps. Got
Under
it.
3 amps. And you're done. You just turn it off. For a hot summer day, you don't need it. Above 70, you don't need heat at all.
All right.
What about,
And
And
what
then
about
obviously
when
at
the
the end of the night,
job's
you probably
done?
want to seal these vent tubes so shit gets.
Well, you want to put the small one in the B side. The A side already has this one.
So you're not worried about this tape.
You're gonna move it in, tarp the whole thing.
Tarp the
so-
whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it heat up. I might run it a little bit this afternoon. I'm gonna leave it untarped. I'll probably fire it up and run it a little bit this afternoon. So as long as we're here,
8 amp, don't leave it 8 amps to be idle for a while.
8 amps is ideal running temp. 8 to 9 running temp though.
Well, my other one's at 110 feet of hose. They draw 9 amps. This draws 12. It's 240. So this is the max. That's a nice transformer. Puts out a lot of voltage. If it sits for a long period of time, it can burn the hose. That's what I don't want to do.
But if we're actively running this thing,
All day long?
I'm just for the first half of the day we're using this. We're gonna run it at 7 to 8, and then obviously when we're done, drop it down to 3.
You can run it at 12 if you want.
If
while you're
depending
working.
on the temperature outside.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the colder it is, the more amperage that the hose will heat up a little quicker.
Okay.
And also, it'll help maintain what comes from the barrel. Like I say, the barrels are plugged into 110. They can stay on 24/7.
But overnight, you want to drop it down to 3.
On the hose heat, yes. The barrels stay plugged in. They have a thermostat inside.
That shuts
they
off.
shut off at 80 degrees.
Got it.
How long
Say-
does the fluid stay in there?
Pardon?
How long does the fluid stay in there? What do you do like at the end of the job? With the,
Well, at the end of the job, you're not going to use it anymore. We need to rinse it out. Or every 20-25 days, put your recirculation block on, run it right back in the barrel. Let it run for 10 or 15 minutes. Now, that's almost easier than trying to get some of the cleaners because the pump lube that we put through it, once you put pump lube through it, you're going to take almost 15 gallons to clean it out. So there's $1,000. And then it's going to still have to be ran once every 2 weeks or so, so the pump lube doesn't harden up inside the hoses. So just leaving material in it and just putting the recirculation block on the 15th and the 30th of the month. Just let it hook it up, run it in the small hole of the barrels, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I mean, when it's warmer, it's going to run a lot quicker, and you'll see that,
what do you use to pump all the fluid out?
The only I'm using right now is pump lube. It's all I've used for 28 years, but it's not the best product. It can harden up in the lines. And but there you're talking, it's going to take $1,000 to do that, but you've got $6,000 worth of hose.
You're better off leaving that in there and just circulating everything.
Circulate it twice a month. There are some things out there. I found last month up in Jacksonville at the phone show. I haven't got in touch with the people yet. It's a neutralizer. You're going to have like 15 gallons of neutralizer to flush it, and then 15 gallons of pumping you can put in after that. So now you're still talking more money for the product, but you also have to dispose of the product. So cost efficiency, put the recirculation block on twice a month. If your hose heat doesn't draw amperage, because it goes out the red wire all the way out the end, and the lip hose mixed together, but back the blue hose just makes a circuit, so to speak. If it doesn't draw, there's a hose heat fuse right here, same as on the Predator. Same 50 amp hose heat there could be blown, or not even, I would say a loose connection, because every connection is a butt connector, an Allen screws, and heat shrink. So it's not something that's just going to come apart.
Where do you get those? Is there any extras in that box? Or does that never usually go?
It's not usual. You still be a Predator at your shop? Back the hose, unscrew it, take it out. Exactly.
Still waiting for you to buy that thing off me. Take it home with you?
You bring it with you?
What you can do with that is take your barrel pumps, your tower assembly, and take it off the cart. Then you can buy this assembly right here, mounted on a piece of aluminum, and bolt right to your cart, so you can have 110 feet of hose. You can reuse your electrical box and your transformer and your cart. It's $10,000 less than this.
I'll buy it and just turn the receipt.
It's the same identical thing.
You fly, I
have
buy.
110 feet of hose and have 300 feet.
I got the card.
Very perfect. I got the truck.
Second machine. And also, if you're doing any fleece pack this year, there is a rebate program through Carlisle. You do such amount of fleece pack, you get a rebate.
Yes. Is there anything else that goes wrong?
Stuck my hand down a snow thrower.
It's usually just runs and that's it. I mean, it's just
Pretty much air pressure, pumps the thing, and you got electric and air.
It's a nice word.
What'd you learn?
It looks more complicated than what
Use
it
the
is.
pumper that comes with the
60
machine.
and 50 or 60 and
The
40,
auger wasn't supposed to be
and
moving.
going to town. The barrel's just too cold today. It just won't pump fast enough.
Always, and you could put the 215s on the cart too.
Yeah, I saw that. Once all the hoses off, but
Yeah. Those would be on the outside of the cart then.
maybe when we go into the bigger
$2.
sections, that
get 2 dollies and people can go along
Yeah.
with you.
Well, realistically, like this, I'm not going to move this machine until this is done. We'll have to move it down there, and I'll probably set it somewhere down low and just probably do one half at a time. Move it once or twice.
I guess when he's done with the barrel, he ends up doing it.
Set number 2. Pull that out, say 5, 6 inches, 8 inches of it. Then what's left in number 1 gets poured in. Number 1 gets poured into number 2. You don't want to leave anything in the barrel for trash.
We're talking about the end of the job.
So we need a funnel?
End of the job.
So do we need a funnel to pour it in the
Yeah,
funnel?
two different colored funnels.
Okay.
2 different color funnels.
Put tape on one or something.
And then at the end of the job, when I'm done with this machine, before we get it pulled off, obviously, because they need to run it twice a month, what is my process? Is there anything that I need to do to this? Do I leave the barrels hooked up?
Should leave the barrels hooked up. The barrel should be on the machine inside with the hose. Put
Right.
the hose on the outside of
The whole thing.
of the framework, so to speak.
And just leave it
That way
there
the
until
barrels
they...
can sit there. And the lifting strap is rated at 2,000 pounds. So the machine is 375, and a pair of drums is just shy of 300. So you're still under 800. And you've got 300 feet of hose. You're well under your 2,000 pounds.
Gotcha.
So you have at least 100% left in your lifting strap.
So the hoses, the things never go back in the rest.
Right there.
Never take them out of the barrel. and put them back.
You can, but when you get back to the shop, you have to take them out of there because they're in there sitting. It's just good to leave them in the barrel.
That was just for shipping purposes.
I mean,
Yes,
it's-
yes, because they have no barrel. And these are here. Lift out. The machine will lift out all the roof and will lift. 55s you can't. So you gotta clean the tubes. Get the machine off the
What I remember from the Predator is the pumps kind of fall in the top and fall in the bottom. Every now and then
I mean, I just don't
We have one ball. There's no more barrel pump, because your pneumatic pump, if it's short strokes or something, it's going to your air pump inside, you know, pour out the pump. This just has a check hole on the bottom in the foot valve. So when the pump is going to be upstroke, it's a 7/8 ball. In the bottom of the pump, both pumps, bottom of both pickup tubes, when it starts to siphon up, they both lift up and let material from the barrel into the pickup tube and the hose. And then downstroke, the pump's loaded, it's taking in and putting out at the same time. It's a double action pump once it's full throttle. There's only one ball at the bottom, and the A just gets hard to prevent the instrument. But there's no air, it doesn't have that air to assist. Like I said, Cameron, if you want to get a warmer day, another FaceTime or something, call me. An hour ahead of time, I'll try to do something else. I'll give you a quick FaceTime. We go together. And like I say, my cell phone.
Do you answer text messages or call text?
0168.
So I'll shoot you a text on a nice day, about an hour ahead of time, and then
I'll see
do a
what we can
FaceTime.
do, and
That's
then
not a problem.
FaceTime and get you squared away.
That works.
Or if you have any questions during things, feel free to give me a call. The biggest thing is the maintenance. Monday morning, you get the jar, the pump, and the filter. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you look at the jar, you look at the pump. Because you got brand new drums, you don't have old drums with crap in them. I don't think your filter's going to get dirty.
Okay, but it's still worth checking.
And then you check that on Mondays, but all the rest
Tuesday,
of the week,
Wednesday, Thursday.
you just do these two here, and that's all year long. That's nothing. There's nothing more to do in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Adjustments. There's nothing else to do. It's just the jar and the pump and the pump.
And check the filter.
Yeah.
You never have to recirculate it unless you run it dry.
Right? If you run it dry, yeah, you have to do that. I mean, if
You
had
see
a
that?
cool day
Block out
here,
Yeah, I see. He pulled that out.
if you had a cool day, you could go ahead and put the barrels closer together, put the recirculation block on, and just let it sit there and run it maybe 20, 30 pounds, just so it's really thick as a warm material from the barrel.
The line.
Own season will come back to the barrel. It's just the wind is just a factor here. I mean, just the wind makes it cold.
This is why I don't like other people loading my jobs. They're loading it completely wrong. They got fucking 3 inch completely on
done?
one side,
Done.
All
2